So the second type of a tort that we need to discuss is a negligence, a tort of negligence. In definition, an unreasonable behavior that causes injury. So again, it gets back to that duty of care that we all have as we go about our daily activities. We need to drive safely. We need to, do things like that safely. Keep our, sidewalks free from ice and things like that, or things that we're supposed to do anyhow. So, right, in order for negligence to take place, we have to establish that there was a duty of care, that you're responsible for your house, your car, whatever that case may be, that you breached that duty. You participated in some kind of unreasonable behavior that, in fact, caused harm, causation, and we got in fact and proximate. In fact means you would say this, that if you're driving your car, you run a stop sign, you run into another car, it causes the wheel of the other car to come off and hurt a pedestrian, that would be considered proximate. So it could be either or both, right? And that there are damages, or that causation results in harm. Again, the duty is what we all have, right? Unreasonable behavior either by a person or a professional. In malpractice we call it if it's professional. And that we speak mostly of doctors there, but that's expanded. That's expanded to include lawyers, accountants, folks that should, they're professionals. They need to conduct themselves and do your business in a reasonable fashion. So unreasonable behavior can be a breach of duty or willful and wanton negligence, which, almost rises to that intentional thing, I willfully and wantonly, left something because I was hoping my neighbor would trip and fall, those types of things. Again, it's almost intentional, but maybe, one step below that, I guess. Causation, in fact, joint and severally, we kind of talked about that. The proximate causation, I already talked about that as well. So can there be contributory negligence or comparative responsibility? And it depends on the state sometimes in that case how those awards turn out. So let's say I ran the stop sign, but which is probably incorrect to do, right? But the person that I hit or that hits me was coming down the road, and they had an uncontrolled intersection, but they were also speeding. They were going 40 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. Well, now who's at fault? And that's where you might get this contributory negligence and comparative responsibility. And oftentimes in Montana is a comparative negligence comparative negligence state. So, if I'm the one that was considered to be 60% at fault, then the award that the other person might get for their vehicle could be reduced by 40% in that case. So that can happen in Montana. Normally, I don't think you see a lot of those types of cases, but there are some. Assumption of risk, and that's something sometimes as a catch-all people just say, you're going to come here, you're going to sign an assumption of risk, right? You're going to participate in this activity. Your kids play baseball, and mom and dad have to sign a waiver basically that says, we understand that there's some risk involved, and on and on. And that's okay. That doesn't relieve, and probably the reason this is here, that doesn't relieve the coaches and those people from their duty, right? And then a duty of care, duty to provide a reasonable environment. And there's some cases going on. It'd be interesting to discuss right now. Lawsuits going on about folks. It might have been one that was in one of our discussions already, but I think it was. Getting hit with foul balls, right along the first base or third base dugout in professional baseball, and causing reasonable damage or lots of damage, harm to those people. Well, when they went in and bought their ticket, believe me, there's an assumption of risk thing on the ticket does that alleviate the teams or the stadium's duty of providing for a safe environment? And, is that safe? There's warning signs. Say, watch for foul balls. Good question. And leave that up for a judge or jury to decide. So we'll take a pause here and come back for part 3 in a little bit.